Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome back to another video. But before I do start, please consider subscribing. We're almost at 400 and then soon 500 subscribers. The goal is 500 by the midterms. Now it's a bit of a stretch, but I think it's possible if all of those who are new do consider subscribing. Now, onto the video. I'm going to be talking about why the Senate, the Republicans are pretty much guaranteed to win the Senate at this point. Why Democrats have next to no chance and Republicans pretty much are the favorite. And this isn't even just me saying this. This is a lot of more left-wing groups, and Democrats are even starting to say this. So, as we know, the safe Republican seats in the Senate give Republicans quite a bit of room. As you can see, there is a lot of room here for Republicans to pick up the majority. With Democrats holding a decent number of seats, they're still behind. And this leaves a large number of seats open for Republicans. They only need to get 5 of these remaining seats. So I'm going to quickly talk about the 538. This is where I'm mostly what I want to focus on. Republicans are leading in the House. They have been most of the time, but they've gotten much better. And 538 has consistently been underestimating Republicans, and they've been showing that Democrats are favored to win the Senate in their model for quite a while. And just a few days ago, this even had Democrats ahead. But Republicans now have a 55-1 chance of winning the Senate, and I'd say it's much higher than that. So we even have 538, which I have many issues with their model. Most of what they do is just bad. They've been quite inaccurate in the past. They disclude important polls, but they include really bad polls a lot of the time. So overall, their model's not amazing. But it does now have Republicans ahead. So assuming they're still underestimating, Republicans are probably ahead by more than that. With that being the case, then that makes it a lot more likely that Republicans can win. As you can see, mostly they're predicting about 51 seats for Republicans. 52 is pretty possible, so is 53. 54 is fairly likely. It's not guaranteed, but it's possible. 55 and 56 are pretty much a stretch for Republicans. It's almost certain that that won't happen. There'd have to be a lot to go right for that to happen, but it is technically possible. Now, something to consider here, this is Interactive Polls account. They did a prediction or whatever of his followers, so what they think the election will look like, and they have the GOP winning 54, Dems winning 46. Now, this is fairly similar to what I generally think the actual results will be, but it's not guaranteed. Now, this is what the current betting markets have. The betting markets have it at 53 to 47, which is, I'd say, the most likely result at the end of the day. They have 74 cents on Republicans winning, 31 on Democrats. So, for the most part, predicted is pretty much saying, and most of the bettors think Republicans will win, and they'll win most of these seats. So that leaves Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia all flipping Republican, while Colorado, Washington, and New Hampshire would stay Democrat, and that gives the 53 to 47. So I'd say this is a fairly likely and fairly safe bet. Now, Republicans have a very easy path here. The idea that Republicans are just not guaranteed to win this would require a lot to go wrong for them. No matter what, even if they only win by 1, it's pretty much impossible for them to not win by at least 1 seat. So Ron Johnson, Wisconsin, he wins that. Republicans, they won't win Washington, unfortunately, so no. And Colorado, they could squeak it out, but I'd say probably not. Ohio is pretty much guaranteed. It's almost safe. Same with North Carolina and Ted Budd. So that leaves a total of 5 seats. Republicans need to literally win 2 of any of these seats, and they win. Right now, Oz is pretty much in the lead. He's got the momentum on his side. He's been doing quite well. And despite polls that usually underestimate in the state of Pennsylvania, Oz probably wins that. So right there, that's 50. Now, Republicans need 1 more of these states. And Nevada being the most likely flip for Republicans, according to most polls, most estimates, pretty much everyone has that. As you can see, if we look here, it is very likely that based on betting odds and even polls, Republicans would flip Nevada. So that gives them right there, that gives them the lead. Then they have room to grow their majority. They don't need these, but Walker, he probably wins Georgia. As you can see, polling quite well, and Again, betting odds are in his favor, and despite the scandals, he's still leading. And then lastly, we have Mark Kelly versus Blake Masters, and Blake Masters wins that one as well. Despite polling, he's gotten much closer recently. So there's a lot of different ways Republicans can win this. But say Democrats still get Arizona, and they get Georgia, and they get New Hampshire. Republicans still have the lead. If Democrats are somehow really lucky, they may pull off Pennsylvania. But even then, I doubt that. Bare minimum, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, all will be Republican, and same with Ohio. Therefore, no matter what, Republicans will have the Senate majority. Now, again, this could happen, or we could see Georgia go and not Arizona. Arizona, in some ways, might be the most sketchy, but then again, best case, Republicans could pick up this, maybe even Colorado and Washington. It's unlikely, but it's possible. Hence the simulations, the two that had Republicans with 56, Democrats with 44. This is likely what that scenario was. It's absurdly unlikely, but it is possible. Realistically, though, we will probably see something closer to this or this. Now, either way, like I said, this basically guarantees Republicans will, at the bare minimum, pick up the Senate. Doesn't matter which way you put it. Pretty much any combination here gives Republicans the lead. It's almost impossible for Democrats to actually get enough of these states, to get at least 3 of these 4 states. They have to win at least 3 of these 4 states to actually hold the Senate. And that's just not going to happen. And then the chances that they win 4 and then have a sizable, well, not sizable, but a reasonable majority is just completely unlikely. No matter what, this will probably be the result or this. Democrats have no chance. So Republicans are pretty much guaranteed. And you know what? This is the thing. Even left-wingers, as I was saying, are starting to say this. In LTE's recent video, the biggest Democrat wishcaster in the world, who just doesn't seem to understand electoral analysis and historical trends, even he predicts a 51-49 Republican Senate. Of all people, LTE is saying that. That is something to consider. Now, he usually is just wrong because he doesn't know what he's talking about. But if we include that, and then we include all the polling trends, we include the betting odds, we include even 538's model, it's almost guaranteed Republicans pick up the Senate, no matter what. Anyways, that was the video. If you guys agreed with my breakdown, my analysis of this situation, let me know down in the comments. Let me know if you think the Republicans can win and hold or pick up the Senate. Anyways, that's all for now. Good night.